Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. You guys better come out and join us tomorrow. Ken and I are going to be having fun. Where do you see how I'm dressed tomorrow? It's fantastic. Today I walked in. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're in pants." I said, "Well, first of all, my wife told me don't go outside. Too cold. Your legs are too white." I said, "Settle down," because I had shorts on. So she made me put sweats on because we promised we would never let ourselves look foolish. What I wanted to do, Bell, is I wanted to have tearaways like the NBA players have. I wanted to walk in the building, tear away my sweats, and have shorts underneath. I thought that'd have been awesome.
So you're trying to put one over on her.
Yeah, but no, instead I just had regular old, I'm like, nah. So, sucks. Sucks! Because I don't mind the cold. I don't, except for my nose. Could get a little, and my fingers. Outside of that, when I played, my ears, that's it. I don't mind the cold. Don't bug me. Like Ken.
Are you allowed to wear anything on your head when you're playing soccer?
Yeah. You'll see, you can always tell the guys who are like, there's some guys out there, they got gloves on and they'll put something on top of their head. They will in certain situations, but no, mostly not. I'd have to grow my hair out. My hair was big then, so it didn't matter. Now it'd be freezing. Big hair, as you do. Very interesting. A lot of the polls are out. They're not pretty. And affordability, we keep saying it, right? Affordability is an issue. I'm not trying to be mean, but you're being mean to Trump, right? I don't want to hear any of that. Like, that's stuff that's cult-like to think. It's not about being mean. It's being honest, right? If your buddy was running a campaign for something and they were not getting the message out to the people that needed to be out there, but instead they continue to go, nah, I'm not going to listen to that, you'd have some issues. And we got a crisis of affordability in this country. Whether people want to believe it or not, it's reality. I spoke to a lot of people this weekend, and, we did some shopping and stuff, but I talked to a lot of people because for whatever reason, people want to talk to me. And I don't know why. Maybe because I look so jolly. But yes, affordability was definitely an issue. And people are putting it on credit cards. People are doing the buy now, pay later. That is also scurry. Can I just say that? But you're seeing a lot of that.
Economists say holiday spending is growing over last year, but at a slower pace. Americans face higher prices without seeing more in their paychecks. That's leading to tough decisions at the register.
With Americans deep into the holiday shopping season, Amanda Maxwell says she's cutting back.
Groceries are more expensive. You kind of have to cut back on things that you normally would do, like eating out.
A new Politico poll finds 46% of Americans say the cost of living in the U.S. is the worst they can ever remember. So this season, they are relying on credit cards and buy now, pay later programs.
And that's scary. Because it's the holidays. You don't want to let down your kids. You don't want to let down your family. So you're taking out more credit. You're doing more stuff. You're figuring out what you can do because it's that one day you want to give. You want to make sure that you don't want to show up and go, look, guys, I'm so broke. I can't buy anybody anything. Or is really, some people are going, hey, it wasn't a really good year. So Santa's had fallen on tough times, whatever it is. We want to give. The buy now, pay later is kind of a scary thing because I know that is and I understand that there are people out there that do it, but it's now what's happening. Like we were joking about earlier with the crotch pot, which we will come back to because so many of you have sent me recipes. But the crotch pot thing, there's a thing there where you can shop now. It's $19. Or over time, you can pay $32 for it, which is crazy.
We are seeing debt levels grow. So even though people are spending, there is some indication that they're using debt to do that.
Last year, candidate Trump promised to lower prices.
I will make America affordable again because it's not affordable anymore.
But this week in a cabinet meeting,
the word affordability is a con job by the Democrats.
Since then, he's faced pushback from members of his own party.
People know costs are up. As Republicans, as Democrats, as elected officials, we would be wise to realize that really matters to people.
And you have to, because if you're not paying attention to this, let me tell you what every single commercial is going to be next year. Costs are up. This guy says costs are up. Only when we're in charge, But when they're in charge, cost is a hoax.
Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. One of my top priorities will be to quickly defeat inflation and make America affordable again. I don't want to hear about the affordability. We will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. You know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. Affordability is a con job. We will target everything from car affordability to housing affordability. You know, this whole thing is, they use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax.
It's not a hoax. It's reality. It's not a hoax, not a joke. It's reality. And there's ways of presenting it to the audience, to the constituents, to the American people that says, hey, look, I get it. It sucks. We came in, it was crap. We're doing our best to start to slow some stuff down, and it's going to take a while to turn the ship around. But it's not so much about the inflation at this point. It's about getting your wages up. How can we help with that? It's about moving that thing that you've got there where you see every week you get your paycheck. It's about getting those wages up. How do we get your wages increased? How do we do those things? What is it that we can do to move the goalpost in the right direction as opposed to the wrong direction? Because going out and just basically saying it's all a lie, it's all a hoax, it's all a joke, it's all the media, doesn't work.
60% of Americans polled by this network told us President Trump makes prices and inflation sound better than they really are. And his approval rating on the economy is now down to 36% in our latest poll. On inflation, approval is even lower at 32%. Don't you need to show that you feel the pain?
Well, Margaret, I think the president's frustrated by the media coverage of what's going on.
This is the polling of average Americans.
But I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage. The American people don't know how good they have it.
Do you think there is an affordability problem?
Sorry?
You do believe that?
I think the Biden administration created a terrible...
No, but now we're nearly 12 months in. You said the president would own the economy at this point.
Well, it's different. See, and that's where you have to own it. See, people will stick with you if you own it. If you try to shirk it, if you push it off, if you tell them it's not real, guess what happens? They get frustrated. They get angry. They look elsewhere. I mean, look, it might have been Biden's fault, might not. Nobody cares whose fault it was, okay? You said you were going to fix it. Where's the fix? Manufacturing numbers, down. Prices were up. Manufacturing numbers. I thought, no, there's not going to be some great manufacturing wave. Not in the time that you think, because it's just never going to happen. Even if there was a manufacturing wave, what's going to be there? Robots, AI, and a few people. People are looking around saying, what is going on? And the young, I talk about the young all the time. And it's like, the young. Why do you talk about the young? Because they're a massive voting bloc, the biggest voting bloc of all. And when you hear these numbers right here are crazy scary. Remember who helped him get over the line. Because why? Trump realized he was listening to his kids, and his kids were saying, you need to go on this podcast. You need to go on this podcast. You need to go on this podcast. It's going to help you. It's going to help you really get your message across to a younger generation who's frustrated at Joe Biden telling everybody inflation's transitory, right? This is going to help you get across the line. Woo!
Trump losing young voters in some of the most stunning numbers that we have seen post the election and Trump taking office. Voters 30 and under, who were really key to his 2024 victory, are right now overwhelmingly giving him a thumbs down. This is a major change from even just a few months ago. Harry Anton is here to tell us something we don't know. And Harry, I think it's really important what I just said there in that last sentence. From even a few months ago, right? Yeah. I mean, this isn't something that happened right away or even right at tariffs or something in April, right? It's much more recent.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the word of the day, to borrow a phrase from the current president, huge. I mean, just take a look at Donald Trump's net approval rating among those under the age of 30. You go back to February, it was plus 10 points. Look at this drop. I'm laughing because it's down to minus 46 points in the net approval. That is a drop of 56 points among voters under the age of 30.
Is there any historically analogous to this?
This type of drop happening so quickly is just, I spend my days in the spreadsheets. You just don't see drops like that.
That is a massive drop in a short period of time. To see a 56% drop, because as we've talked about with the youngsters, they're not party loyalists. They're not. The Gen Z kids, young adults, they're not party loyalists. It's not their jam, right? They want to go with whoever's going to have the best idea and they think is going to help them the most. Millennials, they swung, the men in particular, towards Trump. They helped. But they're willing to go, I don't want any part of this. And it wasn't just all this, the cost and affordability. The Epstein stuff had a lot to do with it. I don't think people realize how much that really perturbed a lot of people. Because you remember, when you're going on these shows, whether it was the likes of Theo or whether it was the likes of Joe Rogan and stuff, that was a big issue for them. That they see power protecting and the corruption that went on there. They wanted to know somebody was going in there to handle business.
It's stunning.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the question, so the drop is huge. You can have a huge drop of a small number and it can still matter, but still. But this group was actually hugely important to Trump.
Yeah, hugely important to Trump. I mean, look, he gained more with voters with Generation Z than he did with any other group from 2020 to 2024. I mean, you look at it. Look, in 2020, he got 31%.
These are what? People under 25?
This is people under 30 now. They were under 25 back in 2020. Generation Z has become the young people. Millennials like myself have aged out of those young groups.
Right, so people under 30. Okay.
Correct. And they went from 31% in 2020 to now 43%. That's a jump of 12 points in just that 4 years. And I looked at all the age groups. There was more of a jump in his support among Generation Z than any other generation. They were key for him, as you said in your intro.
Wow. But that drop, again, a 56-point swing.
Correct. That game, adios.
They want you to feel like you're in it with them. And I know Trump's getting ready to take he's getting ready to go do something he should have done a while ago, which is get out of the White House. Because I think a lot of people have had questions about his health. So get out of the White House and don't go to just Mar-a-Lago or some faraway land. Get out of the White House, go across the country, sell the message that we're going to make things affordable. We're doing everything we can. It's, again, everybody's like, you're so negative. I'm not negative. I'm honest. That's the word you're looking for, is honest. I don't come up with these polls. By the way, his Fox numbers were awful. They were in the crotch pot. That's how bad they were. Somebody just said, as a manufacturing engineer setting up a process to make HVAC systems, stop spewing your BS. Well, look at this. The U.S. has lost more manufacturing jobs this past year than last year. What? It's not BS. Because you don't like what I say doesn't make me wrong. And by the way, I'm trying to tell him, I want the Republicans to win. Well, you better do a better job of explaining yourself. You better do a better job of getting people to understand that this is where we're going. What people hear now is you saying it's not real, it's fake, and they don't see a plan. Everybody's still waiting for the health care plan. There's a battle going on right now that they may not even vote on it. And once that's locked in next year, if prices go through the roof, and that's another issue, I mean, I hope they come up with something. They've been promising, or was that a lie? I'd like to know. Healthcare going through the roof? Yes, no? Well, we got rid of the subsidies. Okay, we understand Obamacare sucks. How do we fix it? Because you guys unfortunately got involved, right? And got your stank all over it. Now, how do we get it off? Or the best that we can? That's what we should be worried about. If you want to see the Republicans start to fix some stuff, they're going to have to start to agree that, hey, we got an issue. And some of them are, including Tim Burchett, who came out and said, our messaging sucks. Well, you better figure out who's going to be the new messenger. Because next year rolls around and you haven't fixed the messaging and the economy's still struggling, and then you lose in November, and you're going to be going, how did this happen? Well, if you don't know how it happened, you're not going to fix it. Coming up, got some of your text messages, among other things. Plus, what are the new bad dating signs? There's a lot of those out there. And you know, can love help you keep weight off, too? We'll talk about that. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Did it. No, those health advisories are not because of the crotch pot. I think we should give those out.
You don't know that.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not. Because we haven't given any out. If any of you have ever tried the crotch pot, one of the greatest gifts they keep on giving the whole year.
Wonder if it comes with a set of spoons.
Oh, do you have to bring your own? Crotch pot. So spectacular. So many of you have chimed in about that, and some of that stuff cannot be read on the air. Okay.
Surely not.
Surely not. A lot of people chiming in about Trump. Sally says, you won't get an argument out of me, brother. Trump has been a big disappointment this time around, which just reinforced my belief that I will not be voting ever again. There is and again, this is not about, look, we were rolling. COVID came, everything went sideways. We've had a tough time getting it on the path. And, we handed out tons of money and then people spent it. We had low interest rates. People spent. We should have been raising rates slowly during Trump's first term. And then we handed out rates, handed out money. That was insane. And then Biden comes and he goes, I see you and what you did. I'm going to doubly do it. And then we've got this chaos. No, it doesn't happen overnight, inflation. But government has to fix this part of the inflation because they're the only one who prints money. And so I was talking to my buddy the other day, and maybe we'll play some about what he said about what's the reality of where we could be going and what's the fix here. And the fix is, do we lower rates, right, and have, a chance to see inflation start to pick up again because people are going to be out spending. They go, ooh, a little bit more, right? Rates are down. And then all of a sudden, instead of going from like 2.5% to 3%, going up to 4 or 5, maybe 6%. Or do we go, nope, we're going to keep rates here and just suck it up and deal with the fact that we may have a recession? Those are the things that we're looking at. There's not great options at this point. It's not, again, it's about fixing the problem. Like with healthcare. We get it. It's broken. Fix the problem. You and I can't fix the problem. We've hired you to do it because we're not the government. As far as we hired the government and this is what we got, but we're not there saying yay or nay. We're not there fighting for this or that. We get that Obamacare sucks, but saying it sucks and just seeing what the free market, because it's not a free market. It's not. None of this is a free market. Oh, yeah, it is. We're not going across state lines. None of that stuff's happening. These things have been in place for a while. You could have gone across state lines in several states, and nobody's ever taken anybody up on it because there's too many rules. There's too many regulations. So, yeah, you guys better figure these things out because whether you like it or not, they're going to point the finger at you. And some of it is going to be your fault. Not all of it, but some of it. Because both of them have spilt this milk. Both of them were fighting over the milk, and it spilled. Ooh. Crotch pot. Nobody's getting sick because of the crotch pot. So, no, can't say that. Beef stroganoff. I heard that's great for a crotch pot. Roast man groin with potatoes and carrots.
What about twigs and berries?
The twigs and berries, very nice. What if I'm a vegetarian? I like that one guy's like, I would suggest maybe do rice instead of noodles. Noodles aren't as good as rice. I'm like, oh, gross. But, if you think about it, because, again, if you will play the crotch pot a little bit later, if you are hiking like that, room temperature probably feels like it's 90 degrees.
That's a hot room.
Because you're outside and it's -5. It probably feels like it's, oh, God, it's just, even if it's only in the 60s. Well, -5, trust me, if you go from -5 to a room that's 60, you're like, it's warm in here. So that's what the crotch can do, people. Coming up, more goodies. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was on last night with Leslie Stahl. Going to sue Leslie Stahl and Marjorie Taylor Greene again. Trump will put out some of those truths. We'll have Ken read some of them because they're hilarious. We'll talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. Last night, 60 Minutes. Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's an interesting conversation. I mean, it's kind of what you get. You know, she's on there and talking about all kinds of stuff. Yes, one of those things being affordability and Israel.
Affordability is a real issue.
President says it's not. Says it's a hoax, affordability.
It's one of the top issues, not only in my district, it's across the country.
The affordability of health insurance caused Greene to side with the Democrats during the government shutdown to support extending health care subsidies. Did you ever imagine that you would be standing with the Democrats on the Epstein files and on health care subsidies?
No, I never imagined that.
She's not afraid to be an outlier. She's the only Republican member of Congress to call the war in Gaza a genocide. And why did you vote against the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act?
Since I've been a member of Congress, we've had several resolutions that constantly denounce anti-Semitism. I've already voted denouncing anti-Semitism many times before. It becomes an exercise that they force on Congress, and I simply got tired of it.
Yeah. That's like one of those things that make you vote for, do you like puppies? It's like, what? Semitism's bad. Racism's bad. Hating people are bad. Okay, can we move on? How about do something for real and not for show?
Yes, now you're asking a little too much.
I am. Well, I'm asking a lot too much. And, you know, one of the things that Leslie Stahl said there, Leslie Stahl, awful, about, well, now you're siding with the Democrats. No, you're siding with the American people. That I think we can all agree the health care, which is not, it's health insurance, but the industry itself is screwed. It's blowed up. It's a mess. I think we can all agree with that. Okay, so it's not siding with this or that. It's siding with the fact that it's a giant debacle. The Democrats tried something. There's tons of lobbyists that are giving and giving and giving and continuing to give and give and give to both sides, by the way, because they don't care red or blue. They care about green. Not Marjorie Taylor, who's brown, as Ken reminded us earlier, thanks to Trump. She's brown because everything green turns brown. But that right there, it's about the people. It's about you and I. Again, I don't care about the party. I don't care. The uniform for us is the red, white, and blue. This is who we are. This is what we're about. You guys fix the problems, of which, by the way, you guys absolutely have caused a vast majority of it. Because you're in bed with all these lobbyists. You're in bed all the time talking about all the things that you can do for them and not doing what you should be for the American people. She was also quizzed about being divisive.
Greene has built her reputation on feisty combat and inflammatory insults, like calling President Joe Biden a liar during the 2023 State of the Union. It's been 5 years of almost constant drama.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up. No, ain't nothing.
Hold on. With her adding fuel to the nation's loss of civility. Then, 3 weeks ago, she went on CNN with a surprise, a mea culpa.
And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
But it became clear to us that she hasn't entirely lost her appetite for combat.
It's the most toxic political culture, and it's not helping the American people.
But you contributed to that. You were out there pounding, insulting people.
Leslie, you've contributed to it as well with your own program. Yes, you're accusatory, just like you did just then.
I know you're accusing me, but I'm smiling.
You're accusing me.
I am accusing you.
But we don't have to accuse one another.
I want you to respond to what you have done in terms of insulting people, yelling at people, and then saying...
I'd like for you to respond for that.
I don't...
No, you can respond to that.
I don't insult people.
You do in the way you question, and you're accusing me right now.
Yeah, because you were divisive. You built a brand being awful. You built a brand saying stuff that was ridiculous. That the Jewish space lasers caused the fire in Maui. Do you remember that, Bill?
Yeah, the green ones.
So awesome. You built, you're as divisive as anybody, and you recognize, okay, that's not good. Why? Because you wanted to raise a brand, and you did that. You wanted to raise your name. You wanted to be a celebrity. You wanted everybody to know who you were, and it was more important to have 3 million followers that represent 300,000 people in Georgia. It was more important to be on all the shows, and now you're stepping back on, you know what? This wasn't the right thing to do. This wasn't. And yeah, Leslie Stahl, no offense to you media, but last week when we were going over the as they go, who's got good scores when it comes to the polls? You know, Trump, Congress, Democrat, and then when you got to underneath all of them, right, it was gonorrhea, then it was the Democrat, then it was the media. So you aren't helping yourself either. You've been very divisive. The way that you look, those first few years with Trump and not his run up, because remember, Trump got all the love in the world from the media because they loved the fact that he was a machine that brought them viewers. He was must-see TV. He was. So you guys piggybacked all over that. Then you realized, oh, he might win, and you didn't want that. So we went from must-see TV to, well, this guy's evil. And you absolutely capitalized on that. So let's not pretend you didn't. We moved from there, though, to MAGA, which I found interesting.
Is there no value in having the United States Congress reaffirm the fact that they denounce anti-Semitism in the face of a growing issue, a growing problem?
We don't have to get on our knees and say it over and over again when we
Get on our knees?
Yes, we do not have to get on our knees.
Well, most members of Congress disagree with you.
Well, most members of Congress take donations from AIPAC, and I don't.
AIPAC is an American pro-Israel lobbying group. Green's perspective indicates a growing rift within MAGA over support for Israel. Are you MAGA?
I am America First.
And that's not the same as MAGA.
MAGA is President Trump's phrase. That's his political policies. I call myself America First.
But you're not saying you're MAGA.
I'm America First. Yeah.
I'm America First. Like I say, I don't care which party is going to do the best for the American people. I care about America first. Americans first. You and I. You guys all seem to have, some of you have a problem with me because you're negative, you're this, that, and the other. No, what I am is I care about us, right? Every one of you I meet out there, some of you are mad at me. Next thing you know, we talk and realize we have so much in common. And I care. I genuinely care about us turning things around, getting ourselves into a situation where we've got people that we send to D.C. that do the right thing, not because the lobbyist told them so, not because the party wants them to, but because it's the right thing to do for the American. It's not going to be perfect. Okay? It's not. But this right here, what we have, it didn't work in the way it should be. And you should be skeptical. You should be pissed and angry at what we're getting. You should be. You know, today they're talking, SCOTUS is hearing a case about Trump and his powers and whatnot. And all, not just his, all president's powers. And it sounds like they may side with him. But what don't you have? You don't have the Democrats or Republicans when they've always had their chances to do anything, whether it is solidify the subsidies for 3 years, right? Fix immigration. You never have them doing the things they're supposed to. They cede power now. Let the mighty pen and executive orders be that thing. That's not the way we were set up. It's not. We need better people. And I don't feel like we're getting a good shake. I feel like we're getting a bunch of people that go there and get treated like a NASCAR, where they get all of the stuff. They should have to come up in the NASCAR or Formula One outfits, right? Their leathers and everything, so we could see who's bought and paid for them.
God bless you, President Trump.
Almost overnight, she's gone from a close Trump friend to foe, one of the few Republicans willing to take him on. I'm going to ask you about this almost solid support he has among Republicans in Congress. Is there in that support fear? Does the support come about because they're afraid that they'll get death threats?
I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
And they're watching what happened to you?
Yes.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Leslie, kissing his ass and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
And there are a lot of them. There were. And by the way, I get text messages from congresspeople and a couple senators, and the things they've said, some of them recently, have not been too kind. And they're worried because this is also their job. This is. And yeah, the fact that she stood up, I mean, I give her, she could easily, you know what? She stood up, and because of that, she's the Chad Fan of the Week. We're going to give her a crotch bot. A Make America crotch again. Maca. Make us some mac and cheese.
In your crotch.
Crotch pocket. But yeah, there's a lot of them out there. How many of them turned on Trump long before he became president? I mean, Pete, there's a bunch of stuff coming about Hegseth today and the stuff that he said about him. J.D. Vance. But they are terrified of him. They're terrified of what might come. But I don't care about any of that. To me, that's high school stuff. I want to know, what are you doing for the people? What are you doing for the people that's bettering the people's lives? Because you put your fingers in everything and you've made everything a mess. And you don't want to clean it up. And that's the issue. You know what? The government, it should have been like kids, like back in the old days, right? They should be seen but not heard. We should know they're there, the federal government, but the state should have a bigger, a bigger play in our life. And your county and your city. Federal government should have this kind of play in our life, but they do, because they've put themselves into everything they possibly can. Regulated, overregulated, screwed with, sold out to, which is a big one. Somebody texted earlier, said they're a lobbyist, but they're not all bad. Not all lobbyists are bad, but the reality is I would rather have no lobbyist than, in theory, a couple good ones, because eventually the money, the power, it gets there. And you see what happens. Let me know what you think. You can text the program. Love hearing from all of you. I got some dating tips coming up. Is it cuffing season? Is that what they call this now? Cuffing season? We'll talk a bit about that. If you don't know what cuffing season is. And maybe if you guys are lucky, we'll play the crotch pot thing again. Crotch pot. So awesome.
I already podcast that, just so people know.
So awesome. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Cuffing season, that's what they call it. It's for people who look for relationships around the holiday season. Are you into cuffing season? That sounds like something different. Sounds like something that should be on the internet that's dangerous. But it is typically defined of the time of year when single people actively search for a short-term romantic partners to spend the holidays with from now until like March, right? Because you're indoors a lot, it's cold. But once it starts to warm up again, you dump that person.
See ya.
See ya, don't need ya. So bizarre, right?
Just unplug it and put her back in the closet.
There you go. That's coming. You know it. Although you're not going to get rid of that one. You kidding me? She's great.
Yeah, you just put her in the closet.
Charge her back up. See you in a little while. Yeah. See you in a little bit, darling. Mine comes heated. Oh, my God.
That'll be subscription-based.
Yeah. You know what? You know that's coming, too. The doll is free, but how much does it cost for all the stuff?
That's in our silver package.
Silver bells. Orange flags you should watch out for. Ghost lighting. That's a new one. So ghost lighting combines ghosting, vanishing without explanation, with gaslighting, making you question the reality. It happens when a love interest disappears for days or weeks without explanation, then returns as if nothing is amiss. Oh, my Lord.
Where have you been? I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, I told you I was going to be gone for a couple weeks. Deep avoidance.
I told you I was going to be gone for a couple of months.
Yeah, that's right. I was, part of the stuff with the ninjas. I did ninjas things.
I was working overseas.
That's right. I can't tell you. Super secret. Deep avoidance. It's one of the new things, right? One woman talks about the essentially the surface is good, but you're not getting past. There's nothing underneath the surface. And deflection. Your date appears to pepper you with questions. You find yourself talking for hours about every subject, your family, your past relationship details, but they tell you nothing. And situationships, something else. If you're in a situationship, your partner will be keeping things vague, not because they want you out, right? But they fear being in. So they like the situation, but they're not in love or they're scared or whatever.
Who was that guy? He was just a friend.
Yeah, we've been dating for 3 months. Well, it's a different kind of friendship. It's a situationship. So thinking that the situationship is you and I are in this situation because of that, we should have a relationship, but is it only because of this situation we find ourselves? So you're out in the middle of the woods. Everybody's disappeared. There's only 2 of you left on Earth. That would be a situationship.
Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. Right? That's a perfect situationship. I like that. That is very much a perfect, because there was just those 2 on an island. Not much else going on, right? There's no, I'm done with you. Nope, this is it. You're stuck with me, so let's just deal with it.
All right, kind of like Naked and Afraid episodes.
That's exactly it. He gets it. Do you get it? Coming up. Chad Mark, tell you guys how to audition. Tell you a little bit about the premise of the movie / radio program / awesome show that we're going to do for you. It's all coming up. Hour number 3, Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997.